Ever feel like someone can read your mind or get you to do exactly what they want? It's not magic. It's psychology. And sometimes, it's dark psychology. Today, we're diving into some powerful techniques that feel almost illegal to know. But remember, knowledge is power. The goal here isn't to manipulate others, but to recognize when these tricks are being used on you and how to protect yourself. Think of it as psychological self. Let's get started. First up is the foot in the door technique. This one is a classic. You start by asking for something small and easy to agree to. Once the person says yes, you follow up with your real, larger request. Why does this work? Because people like to be consistent. Once they've agreed to the small thing, saying no to the bigger one feels like a contradiction. Imagine a salesperson asking, "Do you have a minute to answer one quick question?" You say, "Yes." The next question is, "Would you be interested in a 30-minute product demonstration?" See what they did there? You're already partway in the door. Be mindful when someone starts with a tiny, seemingly harmless request. Pause and think, what could be next? Next, we have the door-in-the-face technique. This is the opposite. You start with a ridiculously large request that you know will be rejected. When the person says no, you immediately follow up with a much smaller, more reasonable request, the one you actually wanted all along. The other person feels a sense of relief and is more likely to agree to the second request because it seems so much more manageable in comparison. They might even feel a little guilty for turning you down the first time. For example, a charity might ask for a $500 donation. You politely decline. Tayton asks, would you consider $20 donation instead? That $20 suddenly seems like a very small price to pay. Now let's talk about mirroring. This is a subtle but incredibly effective technique for building rapport. It involves subtly copying another person's body language, gestures, or even their speech patterns. If they lean forward, you lean forward. If they use a certain phrase, you might use it later in the conversation. This creates a subconscious feeling of connection and similarity. The other person starts to feel like you're on the same wavelength, making them more open and trusting. Good negotiators and salespeople use this all the time. But if you notice someone is mirroring you a little too perfectly, it might be a deliberate tactic to win you over. Another powerful tool is using someone's name. The sweetest sound to anyone's ears is their own name. When you remember and use someone's name in conversation, it makes them feel seen, valued, and important. It builds an instant connection. Instead of saying, "Hey, thanks for your help," try, "Hey, Sarah, thanks for your help." It feels more personal and genuine. However, be careful not to overdo it. Using their name in every other sentence can sound creepy and manipulative, but used sparingly and sincerely. It's a simple way to make a strong, positive impression. Let's move on to the Benjamin Franklin effect. This is a fascinating psychological phenomenon. It states that a person who has already performed a favor for you is more likely to do another favor for you than if you had done a favor for them. It sounds counterintuitive, right? But the logic is that our minds try to justify our actions. If we do something nice for someone, our brain thinks, "I must like this person," which makes us more willing to help them again. Franklin himself used this trick. He asked a rival legislator to borrow a rare book. The man, surprised, agreed. When Franklin returned it with a thank you note, they became lifelong friends. Next, there's the power of scarcity. People want what they can't have. When something is presented as limited, rare, or available for a short time only, its perceived value shoots up. Limited edition. Only 3 left in stock. Sale ends today. These phrases create a sense of urgency and trigger our fear of missing out. This pressure can cloud our judgment and push us to make impulsive decisions. When you feel that rush to buy or commit because something is scarce, take a step back. Ask yourself if you would want it just as much if there were plenty available. Is it the item you want, or the thrill of getting something exclusive? Let's discuss social proof. We are social creatures, and we often look to others to decide how to act, especially when we're uncertain. If a restaurant is packed with people, we assume the food must be good. If a product has thousands of 5-star reviews, we're more likely to buy it. This is social proof in action. Manipulators can exploit this by creating the illusion of popularity. They might use fake reviews, paid testimonials, or claim that everyone is doing it. Always question the source of the social proof. Are these real, unbiased opinions? Or is it a manufactured consensus designed to sway you? Now, for a more subtle one, the use of strategic silence. In a conversation, most people are uncomfortable with silence. We feel an urge to fill the void. A skilled manipulator knows this and will use silence to their advantage. After asking a tough question or making a point, they'll simply stay quiet. The other person, feeling the pressure, might start talking just to break the silence, often revealing more information than they intended or giving in to a demand. If you find yourself in this situation, don't rush to speak. Take a breath. It's okay to be silent. Gather your thoughts before you respond. The power is in controlling the pace of the conversation. Another trick is the because justification. People are more likely to comply with a request if you give them a reason, even if the reason is completely nonsensical. A famous study showed this. Researchers asked to cut in line at a copy machine. When they just said, "Can I use the copier?" they had about 60% success. When they said, "Can I use the copier? Because I'm in a rush," their success rate jumped to 94%. But here's the crazy part. When they said, "Can I use the copier? Because I need to make some copies," which is a useless reason, their success rate was still 93%. The word because signals to our brain that there's a reason, and we often just accept it without really analyzing it. Finally, let's touch on emotional manipulation, like guilt tripping or flattery. Guilt tripping makes you feel responsible for someone else's negative emotions, pressuring you to do what they want to alleviate your own guilt. "If you really cared about me, you would do this." That's a classic guilt trip. On the other hand, excessive flattery, also known as love bombing, can be used to lower your guard. Someone showers you with praise and affection to make you feel special, only to later exploit that goodwill. Be wary of anyone whose emotions seem to swing to extremes to get a reaction out of you. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not emotional leverage. So there you have 10 dark psychology tricks that are used every day. Again, the point of this isn't to turn you into a manipulator. It's to arm you with knowledge. By understanding these tactics, you can spot them a mile away. You can protect your own mind, make clearer decisions, and engage with the world on your own terms. Psychology is a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be used to build or to break. Choose to build yourself up and protect yourself from those who might try to break you down. Thanks for watching. If you found this information valuable, give this video a like and subscribe for more insights into the human mind. Stay aware and stay safe.